So obviously this is the TIP Network, and we wanted to wait until we said our feelings on Kevin Samuels, his passing, his impact on just the manosphere, the greater manosphere proper,
content creators,
especially content creators, but also like in general. I think it's really odd that, I think there was a big debate, people saying was Kevin Samuels mainstream. And today I heard the Breakfast Club mention him. I heard T.I. mention him, Marlon Wayans mention him. I mean, we all know that he was in Future's video, which Future said, I didn't even know who the guy was, which is Cap. And he interviewed, or actually he called in to Nicki Minaj's show and she talked to him. And then, just major Vlad TV. He was on Vlad TV and No Jumper. These are all major media outlets. So,
and he was connected to one of the top YouTubers, I think it's Jose something from it's a men's fashion channel, and he has over 10 million subscribers.
10 million subscribers.
Yeah, plus.
And like, so we have to get away from the idea that he wasn't mainstream. Maybe the people who liked him weren't mainstream, all of them, but there was also people watching him who obviously were. And I think that his content was just going to continue to grow. We did the 1 million subscriber. God, what was that? Less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And he was at 1.4 million. So I just want to spend a little time and talk about just a little journey of when I first came across Kevin Samuels, how I came across him, and then the things that I truly agree with and what I disagree with him, because I think it's important. It's important not to, he's not a deity, right? Yeah. He was a human being. And so, but I also want to say this first and foremost. For all the people who are like, if you feel like you wanted to do like a victory dance on a man's grave for him dying, you're a trash human. I was brought up in a certain way. And I guess, it really is apparent to me when people didn't have fathers in their life, or if they had their fathers were trash, and there weren't men around that like had morals and integrity and ethics. And one of the things is that you actually show respect to your foes, to even your enemies. And it really reminded me of, I remember I used to love the movie Troy. And there was a time where Achilles, played by Brad Pitt, and there was a king, an opposing king. He had just murdered the king's champion, which was his oldest son. Brad Pitt, I say murdered in combat, right? In combat, so he killed him. Mm-hmm. And the king snuck in and says, let me take my son's body. And there was some mods before, first somebody had dressed up like Brad Pitt, and the guy fought him and killed him and found out it was Brad Pitt's little cousin or nephew, and he was far too young to be in battle. And he said he moved just like him or Achilles. He moved just like Achilles because Achilles was like, because Achilles had trained him. So he was like, I thought it was you, and then he said, no, you didn't think it was me, and I won't give you your body so they can't do the performance. So you'll just walk the earth blind for the rest of your life.
Hector, the prince Hector, took out Patroclus, which is Achilles' cousin.
Yeah. So, thanks for cleaning that story up.
Yeah.
So, one thing that the king said is he said, he reaches in and he convinces Achilles to release Hector's body. Mm-hmm. And there was a conversation there that's important that men should pay attention to and people should pay attention to because it just shows integrity. He said, Achilles says, you're a better king than my king. And he says, because, my king would never do this. And he said, well, my king would never do this. And he says, you are my enemy. You're going to be my enemy tomorrow. And you're invaders in my land. But we can still show respect. And I find it appalling, the lack of respect that was shown to a man. And what's more appalling is that it's by black women. Black women in general who didn't like him are doing a victory dance and saying that, well, I guess he died alone, and then he died in the arms of a woman. And what they really wanted was they wanted Kevin Samuels to be found with a man. And that would have made their whole life better if they could just say he was gay. Because, of course, no straight man would tell you that you're a BBW or you're a 300, 400-pound woman and that you can't have the man that you were told or you thought you were promised. Because nobody's promised anything. It is saying that if you have this career that you can't have it all. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And so I'll be brief. And I was telling you this earlier, I first came across Kevin Samuels. I was looking for cologne. And I was looking for cologne. I was going out.
How long ago was this?
Man, this is like 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was a long time ago because he looked totally different, dude. And like, I'm used to nerds having money. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm used to geeky dudes with glasses and kind of tall and like who like know how to behave in certain circles. You know, because after you get enough money, after you're in certain circles, you learn the rules and the ropes, and you learn you belong there. If you have the credentials, you belong there. And I'm used to folks in that nature. And it was hard for me to get to that point. And so let me backtrack. Let me roll it back. I was looking for colognes and I was looking for the ouds. I wanted to know how to buy cologne, but I only knew how to buy like Polo. I think I used to wear Kenneth Cole Black and Polo then, right? I was dating myself. But the cologne I wear now is the type of cologne that he would have. I actually have cologne mixed for me now by a company. I say, hey, put a little this, put a little that. It costs money, but I actually do it. And I'm not like a rich person, but just certain things like are important for your presentation. And that's where I found Kevin Samuels. Then I never watched him again. I never watched him. And then you were watching him.
I was watching him, yeah.
And you were watching him for the self-improvement.
Well, I have a whole story to that.
Yeah. So I'll let you tell you. I won't step on your story. And then I think I came to you and said, oh, dude, this guy Kevin Samuels was on Fresh and Fit. And he told this lady Subway was hiring. And only fans only girl. Only hams. Only hams girl. Yeah. And you were like, fool, I've been telling you about it. Yeah, and I was like, really? And I think I had recalled the average at best, but I didn't become like a religious watcher. I was watching Fresh and Fit at the time, and I know that was the time Yende was booking the talent and everything, and I see a Yende on
shout out to Authentic Office.
Yeah, that's our guy, man. That's our guy. I mean, I was talking.
Great video, by the way, of his memory speech memoriam speech with Kevin Samuels and what his thoughts and his impact on him. So
yeah, it was a really powerful video. And I'm glad that we waited till everybody who actually had communication with him did their videos.
And that to me was the most important thing, was other content creators that had an actual relationship with Kevin Samuels spoke to Kevin, that they were able to share their thoughts in the world of how their experience with Kevin Samuels was, what kind of relationship they had, what kind of beautiful, important words, piece of advice that was given to them by Kevin Samuels. And we can be seen that Kevin Samuels gave a lot of business advice. Absolutely. He gave a lot of content creator advice. You hear him all this relationship advice, but he was giving out self-improvement advice.
Yeah. So well, and here's the thing. It's like I get so confused when people are hesitant to improve themselves and they just want to be like, it's over. I don't look a certain way, it's over. Well, I mean, look. You could fix a lot of stuff about yourself. You're not going to make yourself taller, right? There's some universal attraction laws and this and that, but like, you don't have to be like, it's taken from a guy who was over 100 pounds heavier. You don't have to be 100 pounds heavier than you are at right now. Like, if you're too big, you can lose weight. If you don't have a marketable skill, you can learn a skill. It's just things that, like, it really reminded me of things my dad would tell me, and I thought it was refreshing when I seen it, And of course, when he talked to ladies, I mean, I always thought that one of the most disturbing things is that, to me, he talked to folks how in management meetings we talk to each other. Like, it's called a Shark Tank. You tell people not to talk over you. You stop people, you say, excuse me, I'm talking now, right? And it's contentious. But you're trying to get to a goal. And when you're in that room and you're getting to that goal, I've had arguments before where I've had to tell everybody, hey guys, let's stop, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop. We have investors in the other room. But I mean, from every level of management, when it's against a wall, when you have to get better, they talk to you like he talks to people, and he spoke to men way harsher than he spoke to women.
I mean, you look back at his body of content 4 to 2 years ago. A lot of it was on men's self-improvement, telling people how to even groom themselves, like with shavers and stuff, and where to watch. I remember I was watching that video. I'm like, this is a great video.
Yeah.
Like, he was literally telling how men should be keeping up with their hygienic standards.
Yeah.
And that they need to start looking better. They need to present themselves. They need to speak better. And what is the fascination with wanting to be like a kid your whole life?
What's the fascination with the struggle?
Yeah.
What's the fascination with looking like you're just nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I mean, in fact, with him, it's like we started to dress better. I mean, hey, when we get that YouTube money like Kevin Samuels, trust me, I want to be dressing a lot better. But
well, I mean,
but we started thinking about it a little bit more.
Yeah, I dress like this when I go to work. You know, I dress like this when I go to work. So it's just. I mean,
But before, you weren't dressing like that when we were doing YouTube in the beginning.
No, I wasn't.
You were wearing more streetwear.
No. I think at the very beginning I would always wear streetwear but as I started having to dress, like the job I had before this one and this one, I've actually had to wear a certain amount of clothes, so it's just kind of like disposable wardrobe, and also I didn't have to change. But also, image is important.
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna look like a 50-year-old dude dressing like I'm 17?
Yeah.
It looks dumb, and there's nothing wrong with being a distinguished gentleman. I show you a picture of my dad. My dad's in a suit, right? And I was talking to a Hyundai about that, and a Hyundai was like, man, all the pictures of my grandparents, they were carpenters, they were plumbers, they worked with their hands, but guess what they wore just when they went out? They wore a suit, they wore a tie, they dressed up. And honestly, the most important thing that you can control is your image. And the thing that I had came across him and I really started looking at it. He said the male image, the black male image in particular, has taken such a beating in this country that, like, when you walk down the street, someone looks at you like you're just not supposed to be anything now. And look, guys, I'm gonna say this particularly, everybody out there, media is not gonna help you correct your image. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna help you. Media doesn't care. Your teachers, the government, nobody cares. It's up to us to correct the problems that we have. And then after we correct ourselves, we have to go out and help our brothers and sisters and our neighbors. And then after we help our brothers and sisters and our neighbors, then we can help others. And it's just logic that it's always been there. And so, like, why am I big on self-improvement? Partially because that's how I was raised. I was raised to get better, to do an extra push-up every day, to do things, to make yourself smart as you can. And I think in a lot of ways, like, I really appreciated that part of his content. What did I disagree with him with? Well, I disagreed with I think he let the conversation get stirred to the high-value man too much. And look, the people he associated were high value.
I think he was working with a theme. That's what it was. He was hammering in with the YouTube algorithm to drive the channel even further.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I'm gonna.
I mean, we kind of try to do the same things too. So.
I'm gonna get to that next because dude was a master.
Yeah.
A master at everything. But, like, I think that if I was talking about what I didn't agree with him, I would say that I really wish he would have focused on the Henrys.
Yeah.
And I really wish he would have focused on the working class guys, because those guys deserve some great women too. And
he did defend them though.
He defended them all the time. Defended them all the time, but just like, I mean, I don't recall a show just focused on that. I think there
was a few shows, because I think I watched a lot more Kevin Samuels than you did.
A lot more. I mean, quite honestly, they came to a certain point where it was just too much to digest. I mean, you got the lead attorney long stroking for 4 hours. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to digest everything. Of course, I mean, it's a catalog there that we can go back and enjoy and get some learnings from. So, I mean, but that was the thing. Like, I gotta be honest about myself, and also, like, you know, one thing that Hyundai goes out and he hits, and it's the last thing I say, maybe I disagree with, is that you don't ask if you ask, you have to understand women nature, and I think he really did understand women nature really well. So I think when he says, well, what kind of man you want, how much money he makes, this and that and this. Because
he went through that experience. Right. And he also talked to male clients that relayed that experience. And so then they're talking about barbershop talk. They're talking about money and this and that, right? But really, you should ask,
how much money did your last guy make? Because that's where you're at. And it's probably going to go down. So you should lock them up now. But, I mean, it's sad, man. It's sad to see all these fools going after him. But I also want to say that, like, I think that the people who are really rocking with him, I mean, El Wapo had a beautiful tribute. Shouts out to El Wapo. You know, I was a mod for that stream. And, you know, the TIP network was modded up, and we were just allowing no trolls. And, you know, but it's hard to be a mod with Gail at Night, because she was like, oh, there's a troll. Oh, Gail at Night deleted it. Oh, there's Gail at Night. So, you know, shout out to Gail.
Yeah, so Gail at Night did a video.
Yeah.
She didn't really speak in that one, did she?
I think
I didn't get to see it. I just saw the clip of the music in the background.
The music in the background, which was really nice. I think she'll probably have one, but this is somebody who modded for him and knew. The TLA had a video, of course. He should.
And your favorite out of the manosphere, MTR.
MTR, yeah. MTR had a heartfelt video. Of course, actually, my favorite out of Manosphere is my guy Yende.
Oh, Yende, okay.
so that's my guy.
And then O'Shea Duke Jackson.
O'Shea Duke Jackson had, you know, Dennis Sperling, which is
the family lawyer of Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, and also he's Kevin Samuels was responsible for introducing him to his fiance. You know,
so that's one thing that Kevin Samuels talks about, is building up people's networks and building up your own network so you can extract value and give value back.
Man, we have listen, Black community. Let me tell you something. Kevin Samuels was a conservative, and I'm not going to say that I believe that everybody has their own personal choices to make, but there would be 50 more million of us if we didn't have 50 million abortions since '73. I'm not saying all of those kids were made out of love, or I'm not saying it's bad, but what I'm saying is wow, just wow. When I see these numbers, it's shocking, 50 million, because I look at our population as being 11 to 13% of the country's population and thinking like, man, 50 million would really make a dent. That's a lot of political power, because I think of things of political power and getting things done, right?
Political power also equates to economic power.
Exactly. And we would have more people to like mold to try to get control of our image. And so I see a lot of things. I think that, you know, when you have these conservative thoughts, and I'm like, you know, I'm libertarian about most things, especially with personal choice. I'm like, if it's your choice, it's your body, it's your thing. But me personally, my family, I would not want it that way. But, I mean, I'm kind of scattered with my thoughts, but I just think that's how I came across him. But what he really meant to me, honestly, I'm a 48-year-old man. And Kevin Samuels was in his later stages of his life. And I've seen a lot of stupidity with people saying, well, he didn't get popular until he was on YouTube. He wasn't rich until he was on YouTube. He wasn't a high-value man until he was on YouTube. And it's like, you idiots. Don't you realize how difficult it is to do something at this age? I'm tired all the damn time, you know.
Wait, hold on. I gotta stop you there. He was in his prime.
Yeah.
How you get over almost 2 million subscribers? I mean, he's at 1.48 or something like that.
1.48.
56-year-old man in his prime. He's the top dog in this content creator space.
He was going after TikTok. He was going after TikTok.
So that's why, like, I hear like, oh, he's an old man doing. I'm like, all right, guys, he's the top guy in the space right now, or was. And so, to me, he exemplified him being a content creator in his prime, and it was irregardless of his age. The fact that he outworked younger people and was able to get himself to this position when other people had a head start, you know?
Absolutely. And the biggest thing, the biggest thing that really, really got me was that as an older man, when people said, oh, well, he doesn't, and I'm like, you don't get mad at like Colonel Sanders for making money late in his age. He had 8 failed businesses or something. You know, I mean, we should have been celebrating a brother who still had that resurgence in his later age. And, you know,
resurgence. It's his prime.
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm
or
saying.
About like Colonel Sanders.
Because he had did other things. He had did other things. This wasn't his only career.
But impact and influence was greater than his other previous careers.
Greater than anything he could have done. And so I'm just, my point is this. It's stupid. It's the utmost pinnacle of stupidity for somebody to say that this man only did anything because of YouTube. When I'm like, well, hold on a second. It's amazing that you know how hard it is to get 1.4 million on YouTube and 1.2 on Instagram.
You get about 5,000 people tune in your show
every night.
Yeah.
Subscriber only on your chats, and it's you look in your chat and it's like ridiculously packed. Stop the cap. I mean, I'm glad that everybody who like I seen Fresh and Fit, I seen Myron said some things about him. I seen which Myron, it was very amicable, and you know, we've been critical of Fresh and Fit, but I really respect that. I respect that.
Anyone that had a relationship with Kevin Samuels, I believe, should have gone first.
Yes.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But this is the reason why we didn't go. Because I actually really respected the man a lot, where I teared up of his passing.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird for me to say because I'm not.
Well, you just didn't want to accept it.
I didn't.
Like, because I remember having a conversation, and I was like, Anton said, you know, and you were kind of playing semantics with the wording, and I was like,
I wanted 100% undeniable proof from a official press outlet,
which I definitely
because rest well. Then it's like rest well. Are you recovering from something?
Yeah.
But then you explained to me, black people don't play like that.
Not at all. Yeah. We would say what a black person would say is was a speedy recovery or something like that, or my guy Kevin Samuels, I know you pull it through. I'm praying for you for your recovery. We would never say rest well. Rest well means you're gone, and it's sad. That's basically what I have to say about it. I hope that we understand and we find value in what he tried to do and what he left, and I hope that people build off of that legacy. That's what I really hope.
We're going to build off that legacy.
Yeah.
We have conversations about this behind the scenes.
Yeah. And when I say build off of it, I mean especially with the content creator piece.
Oh, everyone's got to level up their game, right? Everyone's got to be a little more professional. They have to be more disciplined, practice integrity, morals, and ethics.
Yeah.
It's dime.
You have
virtues, right?
Because everybody wanted to focus on the money part of the high value. It didn't focus.
And he said he didn't coin that term.
Yeah.
All he did was popularize it.
Right. Well, I heard the term when I was like in the 80s, right? I heard Henry in the 80s too. But everybody wants to coin that term. He wants to focus on that, but nobody wants to focus on the ethics and the integrity and the discipline. And it's just crazy. That's how you get the high value.
And the accountability. Most of all.
Nobody wants accountability. Nobody wants accountability.
His whole show is built on people being accountable to their own life and to have realistic expectations what they desire and to be accepting of what they can't get.
Yeah.
Like that would, to me, like this is the reason why I loved him. Because I loved him because it's from a holistic development way of thinking of a person they're relying on themselves to make themselves better, to be realistic with the expectations. This magical manifesting, I'm about law of attraction, law of correspondence. You want to talk metaphysics? I can talk to you metaphysics all day. But reality will set in. You will hit the wall. Everyone hits the wall, right? If you don't got money, you're not going to be able to get that dime piece. Most likely not. Like, be realistic.
I said this on the THPP Network on Amira's podcast last night. I said, I ain't never seen a dude with a fine chick and the only thing he got is a bus pass.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen that in my life. I've just never, hey, if you're out there, I ain't seen it.
No, it's absolutely true. And if you happen to be a woman with extra proportions and you're combative, most likely you're not going to get that high value guy. Like, I know I'm not a high value guy in those terms, and I'm fine with that. Okay, cool. That means I got something I got to work towards. Yeah, that's part of the whole development aspect of the message that he was trying to say. Become a better woman from his conservative views, while to the guys, you guys got to work harder because you guys are all lazy.
Yeah, work harder. Like, I remember I said this, and I'm like, my optimization, I actually got this from my dad, but then I heard that, and I watched and Kevin Samuels was saying it. So I actually think it's something that folks who were like born in the 60s, my dad was born in the 40s, but he was around in the 60s, you know, he was doing his thing. And from the South too, you know, is that my dad said, we trying to be a bored millionaire. There's no such thing as a bored millionaire. You work 8 hours and you ain't got money, you can still got 4 more hours of daylight you could work. What are you doing? Work more. He's like, you got weekends to work, then work a side job. You know, go. You're a big guy. Go be a bouncer. Stop being broke. I'm not gonna loan you any more money because you can't pay it back. It's just like,
were you trying to borrow money from your dad?
Hey man, it was times, man. Grover Senior fed me many nights, man.
So for content creators, right? Kevin Samuels fed a lot of people because a lot of people were doing reactions off of his content.
I'm telling you.
He was the guy that was driving the content creator economy in the manosphere space.
And
people were making reaction videos.
And it was a guaranteed way to grow your channel. Mm-hmm. It was a guaranteed way to grow your channel. I mean, it's funny because we probably got like 2 Kevin Samuels reactions in a can that we didn't put out.
I think very short clips, all like stylized, embedded into other videos.
But we always one of the things is like, just the power of putting at Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm. And changing the thumbnail, which we did.
Yeah. It's like 1,000. Yeah. And Kevin Samuels was in the video.
For like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. And it's like...
And no one made any mention that he wasn't in the video.
It's
but the
powerful.
fact that... Yeah.
It's powerful.
It's like the lead attorney when he was saying that in one of his streams when all these women were really upset with the lead attorney and how he was coming after Suzette Speaks when he really wasn't coming after her. He was treating her like another litigator because he's giving her respect of her profession. And he's like saying that, oh my God, I lost my thought. Kevin Samuels... And he's saying, like, it's so crazy how powerful Kevin Samuels is that you guys, all you girls, you women, you ladies, are always referring to Kevin Samuels, and you guys are scared. Just the mere mention of his name gets you guys quivering in your boots.
That's triggered.
Yes. Yeah. And then now you're comparing me to Kevin Samuels, but then when Kevin Samuels appeared on that stream, and then Suzette Speaks was like all like rigid and stuff.
Well, because you can't talk over.
You can't talk over.
You ain't going to talk over.
So it was just like the mere mention of his name that the lead attorney was saying is that Kevin Samuels, by his name, by his actions, by him appearing, his presence on screen, demanded respect from everybody. Yeah, like everyone had to second guess themselves, especially the ladies. I'm sorry to say, but guys did too. When you hear him start clowning on the guys.
No, absolutely no. Like Anton Daniels, he come on. Anton Daniels says, "Kevin, come here. I'll be quiet. I'll be talking again when he leaves." He said something about the lead attorney. I mean, it's just like he knew the YouTube game better than all of these yahoos in the manosphere. I'm sorry, he knew the YouTube game better. He just knew the game. I mean, we have to stop acting like he wasn't a master. Look at how he changed when I remember when I first seen him, he looked kind of like a geeky dude with a bow tie. The bow tie was extra big too. Yeah. I was like, why is the bow tie so big?
He was also extra thin too at that time period.
I was like, the bow tie was extra big and but I didn't like I didn't like the handkerchief and the bow tie. I mean, I thought he dressed well, right? I just thought that bow tie was big. But no, I'm not clouded. I'm sorry. This is the way I am, right?
I mean, O'Shea Duke Jackson even told Kevin Samuels, "Hey, you got to change some things here. Like, I know you like the perfumes or whatever, but you make some adjustments right here."
But look at Look at his background. Look how he did. Look how he ran his show. Look at how he had shows in New York. He had shows in Miami. He had shows in Atlanta.
And he had more upcoming shows that he wanted to develop further.
He had upcoming shows in L.A. He had things like I heard Amira mentioned that on the THPP Network last night that they had a finishing school that he wanted to start. And like, what a great... And that was an idea that I actually shared with Allende before. I said like 2 months ago that, man, you and Chantel Simone should do a...
Shout out to Chantel Simone.
Shout out, holler at us. What's up? We're supposed to do a collab.
I heard you on the live stream. I was there, moderating.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to...
Yeah, we're modding the live, right? Yeah. And so...
and that's the thing that Kevin Samuels wanted. He wanted more interactions between, in this case, black women and black men. Yeah. And he wanted better outcomes for men and women. Yeah. And to have... I know. Hey, like, this is how you know, like, I watch a lot of his stuff. Yeah. Like I actually watched a lot of his stuff. I binge watched. So, like, okay, real quick. How did I find Kevin Samuels? Yeah. I watch nothing but financial information, self-improvement stuff, Andrew Huberman, Lex Friedman. So I'm basically a nerd, right? Yeah, I'm a straight-up nerd, right? And then we got here, Kevin Samuels appearing on my feed one summer night, or pre-summer night, like it was still May-ish or time.
You know the date? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I remember because it was after, actually it was back almost in April because I just had ended something with a long-distance relationship from another country, from the UK. So shout out to her. I have nothing bad to say, but what would Kevin Samuels say about long-term or long-distance relationships? They're not real. Yeah, they're not real, right? They're just not real. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I've been in like 20 of them. Trust me.
What are we doing here?
I know. There's some girls in the Philippines. You bastard! No, I've been in like 20 of them though.
So like, So I was having discussions with this one lady that I was seeing.
Was she black?
No, she was a mixture.
Yeah, she was black. Anyway, go on.
So
Swirler. Anyway,
I came across his content because he started
Yes,
talking
sir.
about the modern woman, right? And how he described the modern woman, I was like, damn, that's a lot of relationships I've been in where there was a lot of modern women aspects.
I've seen everyone I've seen you with. It's been like a modern type of, I don't need a man. I'm independent. I'm gonna do this and do that, and it never works. It never works.
Or even like the circular thinking where it's like, okay, like I'm very liberal, right? I'm pretty liberal in certain things.
I'm not.
But I didn't realize there was people that was even more liberal to me where they started to, it's almost like you're spinning in circles. Like whatever you're doing that's not in agreement with how they're thinking, it'll be turned into shame. It'll be turned into guilt. It'll be turned into needing to be right. The insult, if you notice, I kind of kept the insults out because I really didn't have much women coming at me with insults, but they were practicing the sign language with the silent I. And I was like, damn, this guy's really on to something. And then he started talking about the high value man concept. And at that point, I was really changing my relationship with money. And he was explaining how money helps to build your network and you can start to display that money in a sense that people will take you more seriously. And the way they're going to take you more seriously is that you need to also dress for the part. That you need to play by these certain set of rules if you want to keep going up the corporate ladder. And I didn't want to be in corporate America or anything like that, but I started thinking like, what if I want to go beyond YouTube and make YouTube a full-fledged business and I'm talking to high-powered individuals? Like I need to start thinking more like a corporate-minded person. I need to start being more conservative in some respects. Like start to dress better, start to be more disciplined, start to vet my women better.
How long ago was this?
Like about last April.
Okay.
And then during that point, after I did all my financial,
we had like 200 subscribers, maybe 300.
we weren't doing our videos together around that time period, right? And that was right after Khabib thing. So that was at about 500 subscribers because of that one Khabib video got us to over 250 subs.
Yeah.
So before that, technically, it was like only 250.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were not even together at the TIP Network at one point, right? And so what he was describing to me, I was just like, oh my God, this is my experiences with ladies, right? And he started to tell me how important it was that you need to make sure that you need to have the mental peace to go after your goals.
Absolutely.
And how are you going to be on your purpose? Because you should always put your purpose first, is what the things that he's talked about. And this is where the self-improvement things that he's always talked about to men. How are you going to allow someone else, a woman, disturb your mental peace and have you where you're now distracted from your goals and you're not completing your purpose? In fact, with you not completing your purpose, you'll never become a high value man because you're too distracted. You're too distracted by the P power. And so that's where he really resonated with me. So after I started to nerd out with my other stuff, I would binge watch listening to his shows. And I always stayed there for the monologues.
Monologues are dying.
Monologues. I loved his monologues.
Legendary
Loved his monologues. And the women, the call-ins with the women, I have to say, like, the women would instigate things. They would, that's need to be right. And then all of a sudden, that's when your average at best video came out, right?
Like, it's just this weird thing that you can have it all that we've sold people. And we've sold men this too, by the way. We've sold men that you can have. We've sold men that you can be, like, average income, and so it's like people are like, oh my, he's going after the dudes. No, but I'm just telling you what they sold us, that you could be average income, not ambitious, live in a apartment with a roommate, and date the hottest chick in the world. Now, guys find out that you can't do this immediately.
And she's gonna be ultra cooperative.
Ultra cooperative, yeah. But guys find out that you can't do this immediately. It takes like guys like within a year we're like, oh, this is a lie. But there's guys out here that, like, especially if they didn't have like a father like I did or big brothers. I mean, also, like, when I talk about my dad, but I also have two cousins who played professional sports who were telling me what's up. I had uncles who were telling me what's up. So like I had a big community of men, including my older cousin. He's like 52 now. He just walk up and punch me in the chest and stop being stupid. It's like Jesus, you know. And so like we had that. I had that community. Well, a lot of these guys didn't. And so they get sold this fantasy that you can like meander through life, and like you're just lazy and it's okay, and it just doesn't work that way.
And even if you're disciplined, you can meander through life with the intangibles, meaning not understanding social cues of different networks. In this case, networks of the professional class, where high business takes place.
And it's so hard to get in those rooms. And this is what people don't understand. My journey into those rooms was like incidental. I had a skill that they really needed at a startup. And then I'm sitting here and they're like, okay, Grover, 3 months later, they're like, we're going to talk to Sequoia Capital, and you're going to have to lead this. Because we don't know this grocery stuff. Like, we don't know this food business. We have our plans, but you're a part. We got to show you to these folks so you can be a part of the plans. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, so do you think during that day that I just wore a sweatsuit? No, I wore like pants and a shirt, even though it's a startup, right? And I had a long sleeve shirt, button up pants and shoes.
Shake hands. I touch your foot.
Oh, sorry. Mongolia. Yeah.
But that's understanding those social cues.
Social cues, yeah. I didn't know you touched my foot. I didn't feel it to my big giant shoes.
And entering those rooms?
Yeah, and so you enter those rooms and then you're talking. And then it's like when I was talking to you, like then it's like, okay, I took these guys out to lunch. And we had a budget because we didn't have a lot of money. And it says like on a corporate credit card, you need to spend this much money. And so and that's when I realized that what I order, everyone else is going to order. Nobody's going to order like, if I order a sandwich, no one's going to say, if I order a club sandwich, they're not going to order a steak sandwich, right? But this is just understanding and being in those rooms that I understood etiquette and things of that nature. Things that people don't even think about. And they say they don't care, but you don't care because you haven't been there and it hasn't served you to care. But it served me to pay attention. And, I learned these things because honestly, my mom always wanted me to have etiquette, and what she couldn't teach me, she put me in places to learn. That's why I went to private school for a lot of time.
But I mean, understanding those customs and understanding that etiquette actually will get you much further along, and that's why I believe that he was preaching that to men. And I know he was really telling it to the black community because, like, it's almost like I was getting a sociology class with Kevin Samuels. And it was like, but his message resonates with the average man.
You look at if you want to know how like a 55, 56-year-old black man really thinks, who grew up in the conservative South, who made his way in the world, worked hard, and got something, that's what Kevin Samuels is.
And I gotta say, like, he kind of has me thinking conservative in some ways now.
Just in some ways, but as you get older, you're gonna get conservative anyway, and that's what I think people don't understand is that like, look, man, I know a lot of young guys out there. They're like against marriage, and they always get really.
Dude, I kind of was one of those types. Now I'm starting thinking about it too.
Well, yeah. And they get freaked out when they're like, oh, It's just hopeless to be married. It's over to be married. And it's like, listen. If you're not going to vet somebody, if you're not going to learn about them, really vet them. Like learn who their family is, learn how their family came up, learn what their family does. You're gonna struggle, and you may struggle anyway. So how are you going to protect yourself financially? Are you going to have that prenuptial in a great place? Everyone thinks that prenuptials only help rich people are idiots.
Shout out to lead attorney.
Yeah, because you need a prenuptial if you only make $50,000 a year and you've been with her for 10 years, because you can't give her $100 a month.
Now she wants alimony.
You can't give her anything, dude. But let's say logically, $50,000 a year is kind of stupid, right? But let's say you have $250,000 in the bank. You need and you had that before, you built that from your business that you had before. You may want to give her $50,000, but if you give her $125,000 plus your legal fees and her legal fees, it's gonna hurt you. So at least have it in there where like there's some control. You should always have. It's just like when people say you're not rich, why do you have a living trust? These are all of these things, these ideals that you understand from doing business, from being business. And not that Kevin Samuels talked about it, lead attorney talks about it more, but being in those rooms, it starts you thinking that way. It starts you understanding things. It starts you thinking that, like, and the most important thing, it starts you thinking that you don't want to be broke and alone at the end of your life. Mm-hmm. All of these bitter women saying, he died himself, he was rich, and he died in the arms of a beautiful woman. Shut up. Shut up. She was a BBW. They got this fake picture of her saying she's a BBW. They literally got a fake picture of her whole... She's a traveling nurse. She's really a traveling nurse. They try to say she's a prostitute, but she's actually a traveling nurse. They got a picture of her with her, like, her whole ass out. Like a traveling nurse would have their whole ass out and get hired anywhere. This is the ludicrousy of the world, and shame on you people for even doing that. So you say he was with this BBW, this and that. Like I said, what they wanted him to be with was a man. So they could say, well, he was gay, because that would be their ultimate coup de grace. They weren't able to have anything. And so, my big disappointment is how people reacted to it, Mm-hmm. And, I've seen this once before. I've seen it once before on Black Twitter. And it was despicable. So it was when Kobe Bryant died. When Kobe Bryant died, and first of all, there was that Saka Ari who said that he was a rapist. And he does that for everybody. He's a grapist, right?
Yeah. Make my editing job harder.
Yeah, sorry. He does that with everybody, right? He does it with everybody. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he does it whenever somebody dies. And then they stopped him from doing it. Now he doesn't do it anymore. Yeah. But, like, this black woman on Twitter, and there was one lady who said this happened to him because he was married to that El Salvadorian woman and he deserved it. And I remember answering the same lady back because she was in a black Facebook group, like Black World or something. And I said, so his daughter deserves to die too, you evil person, right? And she said, well, I'm just sticking up for black marriages. That's what she said, right? You know what she is now?
What?
The same person's a divester. She says, leave black men alone. They are no good, this and that. Mm-hmm. She was just a bitter woman who couldn't get a man. Mm-hmm. And then she wanted to take it out on Kobe Bryant because she didn't qualify for a man like Kobe. And this young Salvadorian, this young Latina qualified for him. Even though it was probably easy for Kobe with her because he spent all that time in Spain. He speaks total and complete Spanish, and he gives interviews in Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. So I've seen this energy before when someone died. And by the way, it was despicable then, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that it kind of boggles my mind how people treat and disrespect the dead. But the fact is that he's left a lasting legacy and impact on so many people and so many content creators that to me he best exemplifies a person that is fully self-actualized into his fullest potential. Mm-hmm. And when I say that is because from there he was able to marry both passion, purpose into profit. And people hate on him because of the profit aspect. They hate on him because his tone and his voice when he started to help with these women and their relationship issues when they were the ones that were calling in or when they were instigating the fights. They were
volunteering. They were volunteering to be a part of the show. Mm-hmm. And then, well, how dare you talk? Well,
you can't make this up.
why do you keep calling?
Yeah.
Why do you keep calling if you don't want to hear it? Mm. Obviously, someone wants to hear it. And you know what? Growth is never comfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm so tired of everybody wanting it easy.
That's why it's called growing pains.
You
grow through pain.
God, are you that big of a loser that you think that everything needs to be the way you want to hear it? You're such a loser.
Well, like he said, like show the work. It takes work. So this not only goes with men when he said that too. It was also to women. Yeah. Become more feminine. Become more beautiful. Become more cooperative and inspirational.
And if you don't want to become that, either you'll be single or you're not going to marry that guy.
Get a dog, die alone.
That you're not going to marry that caliber of person that you want.
Yeah,
you're just not going to do it. I mean, it's not. It's just like like modern feminism has lied to women and told them that they can have it all. All us feminists hate you. It's okay, I hate you right back. But modern feminism has lied. It said that, you know what you can do? You can work 60 hours a week, marry Prince Charming, be overweight, raise a family, and have this perfect life on your terms. Life doesn't work like that. You know, chances are that if you're with somebody who makes $180,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year, which some of you women foolishly say you must have, which I think that's all cap. I think you would settle for 75 grand, by the way, but it's cap. That person doesn't want you, because if he wanted you, he would have you already. Because if he came up and pulled up in his McLaren and said, hey, hop in, you would leave your boyfriend and hop in the car with him. Mm-hmm. And so let's just stop acting like you're around these people and that you're going to get that. That's all he was saying. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He spit some venom at it so you could understand it, because when he said it nicely, you didn't listen.
Exactly.
The first time he said it was always nice.
You got to be... So with the way people learn, and this is human biology, is you get people emotionally triggered to an event. Mm-hmm. Whether they're feeling fear or anger, they best remember it. So it helps them to survive next time they find themselves in that situation. Well, this could also go for positive emotions too. So when he says what he says, number one, it's polarizing. So people are going to want to come on and watch and see him dunk on women or whatever, even though when they're the ones that kind of kickstart the whole thing of him dunking on them. Yeah. But these women, they kept coming back for it. They kept coming back for his harsh criticism, for the harsh truths. They were addicted to him.
Right.
You know?
It's just ridiculous.
And the thing is, now, with that conversation, people remember his messaging to women, and they remember his messaging to men.
Yeah.
That you need to change things about yourself to become better, and you need to have realistic expectations.
Yeah. Last thing I have is an absolute ridiculousness of Tom Leykiss celebrating Kevin Samuel's death. That's what you get when you steal somebody's material. When Kevin Samuel cited him, and then when someone says Kevin Samuel cited you as learning from you many times, or as that you were saying his first really times, and this total and complete mental midget of a moron said, just because he cited me doesn't mean that he didn't steal from me. Everybody out there, this is the ludicrousy of the uneducated that we become, including Tom Leykiss. I was a part of your little group before in your app, and you know and I know that your app was 80% racist people talking crap about black people and brown people. So stop. Everybody stop that. I was
How about yellow people?
Part of that app. Oh yeah, it's talking. Okay. Well, it talked a lot of crap about yellow women. Mm-hmm. And so stop acting like that wasn't what was going on at your little app that was based out of Los Angeles. I know your health is bad now, so I'm not going to wish nothing bad upon you. But this is what I'm going to say. When someone cites you, it means that they're giving you credit. Mm-hmm. That's all that's necessary. That's all that's necessary in this world when you're doing media, citing where you got it from. So if you think that he stole it from you, then why the hell didn't you have 1 million on YouTube and 1 million on Instagram? Know why? Because you weren't able to do it, because you were inadequate at what you were doing. When you got off radio, when they actually looked at you, they said, this is the asshole who's talking like this. He's a blob. Mm-hmm. And they let you go. And that's why you failed.
Execution matters most.
Yep.
Presentation, as shown by Kevin Samuels, also matters. Mm-hmm. Right? The messaging matters, and professionalism, professionalism and value matters. So last thing I want to say, because I know I touched into a bit of holistic development. This is what I really truly believe in.
What I used to call it holistic development. You're like, what's wrong with you, dude?
I mean, okay, I'm gonna hold it back. Like I started thinking about something totally bad. But now it goes holistic development of a person. Meaning your passions, your purpose are coming together, you're self-actualizing to your greatest potential, which Kevin Samuel did. He was in his prime when he passed away, unfortunately. There's a aspect of that called IKIGAI. And IKIGAI is a Japanese concept which marries the passion, the purpose, and the profit. Kevin Samuel's mission was to get men and women to have a conversation and to have a union together. Mm-hmm. That was part of his purpose, to help I'm going to say, in this particular case, black men and black women, to build up their communities. And I would say his messaging actually goes with all the other communities, especially if this modern wave, feminist, third wave thinking infects all of society. We're all going to start depopulating like Japan. Like that. It's going to happen like that. Right?
We're already depopulating. Yeah. We're already.
Wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. So then now with that, is that his profession was a YouTuber. His profession was a consultant. Mm-hmm. He married the mission, he married the purpose, he now married the vocation. And that his vocation was very important because he was providing a good service, a product for that people latched onto, that they kept watching, and he was an expert at it. Expert at it. He was good at what he did. The fact is that he was the #1 manosphere content creator, and that he had so much, that he was so close to becoming a breakout, even in the mainstream, that's where he embodied the total concept of Ikigai. Marrying the mission, the purpose, what he was good at, and how he can profit from it.
Right.
So
we should do it. We should do a stream about that.
Oh yeah, eventually,
Ikigai, that's pretty dope too. Man, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, bro. Rest in power. You know, like, I know you didn't burn a long time at your brightest, but man, it was bright when you burnt, bro.
He was a shining star.
It was bright when you burnt, and you know, that theme song, "Addicted to the Good Life." Boy, it got some stock on it now, man. That's every time you hear that song, people hear that song, they be getting weak. They be like, God damn it!
I ain't gonna lie, like I was looking forward. I always look forward to the Money World.
Yeah, oh yeah, Money World.
The Money World girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, just lasting long influence or impact and influence on all of us.
Lasting long impact, and he showed us how to do it, man. Yeah. He showed us how to do it right. I mean, like, literally, we were watching it, and I remember saying, we got to step our game up.
Yeah.
Man. We got to look better. We got to do something. We got to.
We were trying to catch his attention too.
Always.
We were always trying to get his attention. I'm like, Grover, it's because I'm yellow. It's going to be harder for us.
Yeah, man, he's just goddamn liabilities, boy. You damn woman's advocate.
That's probably why. So, do we have anything else to say about this?
Man, honestly, I'm good. I think that I just wanted to make sure that everybody got their say first, and that we came out and we did it right, man. And
went back to old tip style, extra long.
Yeah.
So, like, I told Grover in the back scenes, I wanted to express my thoughts and how I felt about Kevin Samuels, because literally he was like the only manosphere content creator, which now Allende is actually, I've been listening more to Allende, and I've told Allende this, but Kevin Samuels left an impact on me specifically, because his kind of content is a content I never watch. I will never listen to, but somehow I found myself listening to this 56-year-old man, black man, binge watching all of his content.
Yeah, man.
So his life was amazing.
You know, Kevin Samuels was absolutely a maverick. You know, because he was thinking in ways that not only like show a good image of ones who haven't had a good image out there before, but networking to bring up other folks' image. And you know, when I heard Donovan Sharp said that, he told him just react to his music, and Donovan saying like, man, Mr. Sharp, I'm gonna call it Donovan like I know him. Mr. Sharp saying like, listen, bro, like his channel was in danger of being a dead channel, but his relationship with Kevin Samuels and Myron Gaines, and like Kevin saying, just react to it. And he says, Kevin, you can't be close to me because of the way I am. And he said, you're just reacting to it. And that Blacklight podcast, we're doing all those reactions to him, knowing that he asked, believing that he has permission. I don't have things. MTR coming up, MTR being big, but you know, seeing those collaborations when it's just complicated. The lead attorney, him popping on the lead attorney's thing and talking to the lead attorney behind, you know, I mean, O'Shea Duke Jackson putting him on, but then him, you know, talking so fondly of him jumping on the Leykiss network. This is a big, I mean, people don't understand, like, look, man, you content creators, let me tell you something. El Wapo jumped on our stream. That was a big deal for us.
And Richie Mack.
Shout
out to him, Thailand.
It's a big deal for us, man. And regardless of what you guys know, when Chloe Roma just shared our stuff, it's a big deal for us. When someone says, hey, we have good editing or we have good content, and they're a fellow content creator, it's a huge deal for us. So You know, like Blacklight Revelations always gives us a big shouts out. These people are all bigger than us. You know what I mean?
Nixon Talks,
Nixon Talks, Grind and Motivate. You know,
Before the Billions.
Before the Billions. These are all bigger content creators than us. And like, if they say anything about us, it's great. And like, I just hope that we can keep this idea of networking, and building a good network. I mean, I don't have to agree with everything you agree with, but what I want to agree with is that let's network and let's build a strong team, and let's make not only finances with our beliefs, but finances with our talent. You know, so you know, Godfather, salute, man, salute. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott. I know, you know, you've been busy lately. I've been busy lately.
Well, there's a lot to process. Like, I'm telling you, I had to process a lot because I started thinking about what's our place and how are we going to uphold the part of Kevin Samuels' legacy.
Yeah, man. It's just, you know, I said this on a THPP Network, and I'll say it now, man. If you love people, don't be hesitant to reach out and check on your mans. Let them know that they're your folks. You know, men we don't be like, I love you, man. We don't do that, but just check on your folks. Let them know that that they got a place in your heart, and for your loved ones, tell them you love them, because people leave suddenly. There's a lot of loss in my life in the last 3 years. Like I mean, you know, like not just my father, but just like, you know, a lot of aunties, my uncles, and a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of people that I care for, like one of my best friends, but. I mean, it's like most of them, I didn't get to say like, hey man, you know, you're my guy, you know. I would say to folks, just please, absolutely, let the people who you care about know you care about. It's a hard time in life, you know, that inflation's coming, that recession's coming, whatever. You know, I've been through like 4 recessions. I'm not tripping too much. I'm gonna make it through one way or the other, right? But let's make sure that we take care of each other out there.
And well, now you remind me of one last thing is, so the reason why I've gone so hard on YouTube and content creation is because after my brother passed away, I realized how finite life is.
Yeah.
And so with this, we can see how finite life is, especially with someone that had hit their stride in their prime. So if you have a dream, if you have something that's stirring in your heart, go after it. Like my slogan is passionately pursue your purpose. So make sure you go after that one thing, because you never know if tomorrow is guaranteed. You should always plan for the future, right? Build up your nest egg, build up your network, or whatever you got to do. Build up your career skill sets, but live your life to the fullest every day.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No like and subscribe, stuff like that. You know where you found us. If you like this, see some more of it, man. Just rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, and
Rest in power.
Rest in power. Respect.
Yep.
Respect. We're out.
We're out. Peace out.